So this is a little video for creative writing students, 2018. Just in terms of the development of your portfolios and the types of things that need to be in there. I've already said that both for your story and for your poetry, collections of poetry, you'll need to have evidence of the development of your ideas from the basics ideas through drafting process, through any of research that you might have done. You need to put that into your portfolio. I wanted to make this video for you because I'm writing or have been writing, almost finished, a poem for a dear friend of mine's wedding, which is due to happen next week. And she's an academic, she's marrying a teacher, and in order to construct this poem, I had to go through various different stages, and I'm still sort of refining it now, still coming to the end of it. But I just wanted to show you how I went about creating this poem, just very, very briefly, and the types of stages and process that were involved. The first thing I asked my friend to do was tell me. I know my friend very, very well, and know her girlfriend very, very well, but I don't know the girlfriend as well as I do my friend. And so I asked her to supply me with a list of things about her partner. So she gave me a list. My friend is an academic, so I also did some work on her. So I'll go through some sort of things I did. This was my friend's a profile of my friend's work. On an academic website, and you'll see that I printed this off, and through using aspects of the language of her academic work, I created a number of different lines and aspects that then I sort of grouped together in various different ways. You can see arrows going back and forth. These are very, very draft materials, but I was reflecting on her work. Next thing I did is I took a summary of the book that she's written, and I extracted phrases from this and then created part of the poem based on these phrases that I do. And you can see that what I've done here as well is put ticks where I've used particular phrases. Here was the list that my friend created and gave me about her girlfriend, and I added to it with my own understandings. And also around here, you'll see around here as well are quotes from Maya Angelou, who my friend's girlfriend is a really big fan of. And I actually used one of these quotations as the epigraph to my poem. And also I riffed on and riffed through some of Maya Angelou's words through my poem. But you can see also in this, I've created little moments of poetry. So up here, Maya Angelou writes about heroes and sheroes, and I did a little skit on this here. Here we are. I have like a little diagram that a sort of spider diagram or brainstorm that I was doing on them both, and I created little passages, distinct things about their characters, their interests, and then little lines relating to this. So politics, sustaining a daily vigil of ethics, which actually gets into the poem, but in various different ways. Again, more things. Then what you see is I did a little section on education. I wrote a poem here. These are notes in general for what I wanted to say. Here's a section where I worked through Alice's, my friend's work. I riffed through the phrases, and that's how I created it. Then I wanted to create, at the end, I wanted to create a ballad type engaging form, and I did exactly what we did in our group. I had this dee-dum, 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 and then I created the end of the poem, but of course it required lots and lots of labour. I also created here loads of end rhymes for their names, and so I created that, and then I went through and I sort of wrote that up. Again, this is just other sections, and you see again I was trying to find some more end rhymes for the beginning. So I just went through a rhyming dictionary and wrote them all down, and then riffed through those things. And then here we have the end that's actually written up, and then eventually that gets into the written up form. But you'll see that I've worked on this written up form. I've changed things. I've ticked where I've edited it. I've taken bits from one section and put them in others. And then I went through, and you'll see that I've added little bits and bobs. And the other thing that I do is that I also, and what you might like to do, is on edited extracts, I tick when I've done them, and I say edited on a particular date. So my point about this is that poetry can be created in lots of different ways. To go about doing this poem, I did lots of research, background research on lists and things that I like. I thought about my own impressions of my friends. But I constructed it in lots of different ways and then brought it all together. But even after I brought it all together, I'm still tinkering in it, I'm still editing it. But this is the type of background research that you might want to be doing for your poems, but also the type of background research that you can bring in to your portfolio. So, you know, things like this. I mean, it's interesting to see how a poetry is developed, and that's what we want to see. We want to see how you've taken certain sets of ideas, drawn on some research, used particular phraseology and language, and how that feeds through into what will be, you know, your finished product. And in your critical commentary, you can reflect on aspects of this. You can say, as you can see, I did this background research, etc., etc. So I just wanted to show you the construction of a very active poem that I'm still working on, still haven't given yet, but that will be part of, that is created in fragments and then put together. There are aspects of this poem that were written straight, as it were. You know, I just wrote them straight, but other ones were actually written through this way. That's how I constructed the poem, and here's the kind of evidence. I'll bring this to show you to our next class, just to show you. And it's the type of thing, really, that you might want to put in your portfolio. So, happy writing.